Persepolis. We are here at number 1, that's a grand staircase. We go to number 2, the Garden of Xerxes and corridor of the soldiers, unfinished hall, 100 column palace. Get back to this where the triple M, and then we also see because these are Xerxes or to Xerxes, which as I mentioned they're totally down. There's nothing left from there, but I'll just show you where they are. Like
107 steps.
When you walk off them, you don't feel tired. Started to be built, and then 2,330 years ago, it was actually conquered by Alexander.
Do we know what kind of cutting tool they used?
No, not really. I don't know. If there was a crack or something that broke this column, they didn't just throw away that piece of stone like this one. They made that and just made it standing upright and just lifted to the top and made the columns. As the next place where we are entering is called the unfinished hall. It was supposed to be built by Darius III, the last king of Persia. Like a grip, like a handle. This shows that, you know, when they just carve all these columns, they had ropes around there and lift them with cranes. So these little things out, what do you call it, handle or grip? Put, you know, these big pieces of blocks over on top each other and start carving.
No, these are the Persians and the Medians. At the time of 570, that Cyrus established the Achaemenid Empire. At the same time, there was another power, a settlement in Iran called the Medians. And Cyrus, who put first.
Which makes it 14. And we have another 14 on the other side, which makes it 28. So this is the number 28 nation in the Persian Empire, which came every year during the New Year to say hi to the king. And you can see they're all like this. If you notice, these are like the legs of the seat or the throne of the king. So they're all holding out the seat. They wanted to show that the king is a king where there are people to hold him on the top. We use that, so he's on the top. It depends on the people down there. We use that. These are important actually figures who are just having the Persian. After the Arab invasion, unfortunately, many of these faces are trashed and destroyed on both sides. But some of them, you can see his long beard, his one with the nice drab, his faces are trashed and destroyed on both sides. But some of them, you can see his long beard. Things in here, they were paid. But they, yeah, the artists, they just made the best out of what they wanted. Especially they were also inspected as well.
Okay, one by one.
They were just mountains with a branch on the same point. That's why the faces are in different directions. If you look at that, you know, the red parts over there, these are the wooden ones with the newly damaged before and previous, but just to show you how they go different directions. If you look at that, you know, the red parts over there, they were just mountains with a branch on the same point. That's why the faces are in different directions. If you look at that, you know, the red parts over there, these are the wooden ones with the newly damaged before and previous, but just to show you how they go. They were just mountains with a branch on the same point. That's why the faces are in different directions. This looks that they were rather, you know, officers and high rank, because the longer the beard was, the higher the rank was. And the other thing is that the rings. They have got rings on the ear. Ring, generally, you can see it in many, many signs and places related to the culture of the Iranian from the old times, and also in the religion as well. This is your hand up.
No, yes, like yes. No, no. Okay. Yes, exactly. Yes, that's what.
a bull that is sick. So how do you come?
And with a silk skirt, you should be able to pull it through the rainbow right through it because it's very fine. So when the way he holds the scarf, you can see it's very fine material. Right through it because it's very fine. So when the way he holds the scarf, you can see it's very fine material. Right through it because it's very fine. So when the way he holds the scarf, you can see it's very fine material.
This place is called Naqsh-i-Rustam, which is actually the necropolis. This is the place where our kings are buried. There are 4 of them. We have 4 huge crosses here. If you remember, in the museum I explained about the cross. The cross was the symbol of pure blood and nobility. So all these Persian kings, before they died, they ordered the carving of these tombs, and then after they died, they were buried here. So the first one to be put here, or the first one who received a body inside, was this one. This is the tomb of Darius the Great. And then came his son, Xerxes, on the right side. And after Xerxes came, the third one was Artaxerxes. And after Artaxerxes came his son, Darius II.
It's interesting, it's a lot more weather.
So they buried their bodies, in the middle of the cross to show that they're noble people and they're coming from pure blood. In the corner, left corner down there, there is the coronation of Narseh, one of the kings of the Sassanid, who's receiving the ring of power from goddess of water, Anahita. You can see that the first figure from the right is a lady, and he is giving the ring of power to Narseh, the king of the Sassanid, and the people who are standing behind him are the noble people, and they're doing this as a sign of respect. At the time of the Sassanid, this was actually the act that showed that their respect and salute, like a salute. So just imagine it was here first, it came here, and then finally it came here. You can see there is only one, empty space over there, which we could imagine that there was going to be some carvings. They wanted to make, carve some faces of the kings. Probably there wasn't enough time for them. There's also that white part in the middle that's writings, in the Arabic language, which was done later by the Arabs. That would be a good example to use what we have on the top. Actually, we have 24, figures standing like that and holding up the throne of the king. The king is standing in the middle. There's a fire burning in front of him, and there is also the symbol of Ahura Mazda, or the great god of Zoroastrians. And then down there in the midline, we have those like columns, which are just only carvings, and then double-headed bull capitals. In the middle, that's door. All these, doors were sealed when these kings were buried. But sometimes later, people just broke into it to find some gold or some precious things. They just thought that maybe they can find some stuff like this. But Iranian, unlike Egyptian, did not believe in physical life after death. They always believed in the spiritual. So that's why inside there were nothing. So there were just only two graves, which one belonged to the king and the other for the wife, for the queen, and that was all. So when we go to the next one, under this, the tomb of Darius the Great, there is one bas-relief. This is called the fight of the horsemen. There's a line between them. The one at the top is the king and the enemy. The lower one is the good and the bad, or evil and the angel. The next one, the big one, that's a very, very important one. That is one of very important time in our history. That is the time where Shapur, the king of Persian, Sassanid, defeated Valerian, the emperor of Rome. And he is down there, you see, begging for mercy. And he is holding the hand of the other man, just assigning him as the next, commander of the army. Shapur didn't kill Valerian. Just like Cyrus, who didn't kill, for example, Croesus. He said that he's a wise man, he knows lots of things, so we can use his information. He made a palace right next to his own palace in Bishapur, south of Shiraz, and he always lived there in that palace until he died there. Again, under the third cross, we have the same story as what we had here, the fight of the horsemen. Under the fourth one, the same thing. There is one building over there, a cube, that also belongs to the time of the Persian, 2,400 years ago. This is called the Kaaba. Kaaba is the name of the house of God in Mecca. Kaaba means cube in Arabic. So they call it Kaaba of Zoroaster. Some people say that this was a temple that they made fire and prayed for the soul of the dead kings. The other believe that this was actually a place where they kept all the documents, the holy books of the Zoroastrians. The second idea looks to be more accurate because this building doesn't have windows. So if you made fire inside, probably it wouldn't be a nice place to stay and pray. So probably this was actually the place where they kept the books and documents belonging to the Persians. For sure, they could also perform some prayer for the soul of the dead persons here as well. To go to the other side, and then actually what shouldn't happen happened, like that they lost the battle. Came to this country, they just thought that this is the tomb of the mother of King Solomon. So they protected it, and then they respected it, they tried to take care of it. It's got 7 steps, so he's buried on the top, 7th step of this building. That the French and the German and the other archaeologists were here, and whatever they found, they took it back to their own country, especially the French. And then they emptied the space inside, and finally they found an inscription on the wall, written in cuneiform inscription. The inscription said, "Oh man, I know one day you will pass by. It's me, Cyrus, the king of Persia, the king of many lands, the king of the kings. And this is the only thing left from me. Do not envy this." Tip point on the top. They're generally all flat. Persepolis, everything, they're all flat. But this is the only one which is tip point. And it looks like one of the temples, which is known as Ziggurat with the steps, which was the temple of the Elamites, where the god was on the top and they just worship. So they also made his temple looking like one of the temples of the Elamites.